Personal protective equipment, better known as PPE, is equipment that can protect against most hazards on the job. PPE may involve hearing, eye, head, hand, respiratory, and foot protection. In this video, we will talk about the different kinds of personal protective equipment available. No matter what kind of personal protective equipment you are using, it is important to remember that PPE should fit properly and be free of damage. Be sure to check the fit and condition of your PPE every time you use it.
The first type of PPE we'll discuss is hearing protection. At ASI, we provide ear muffs, which cover the whole ear, and foam earplugs, which are inserted into the ear. If you choose to wear soft foam earplugs, it's important to properly insert them. To insert a soft foam earplug, first roll the earplug into a small, thin snake with your fingers. Then pull the top of your ear up and back with your opposite hand to straighten out your ear canal. The rolled up earplug should slide right in. Finally, hold the earplug with your finger until it expands to fill the ear canal. Your voice will sound muffled when the plug has made a good seal. Some ASI businesses allow employees to provide and use their own Bluetooth hearing protection. Please speak to your manager to find out if they are allowed in your business. No matter what, traditional earbuds that simply play music cannot be used in place of hearing protection.
Eye protection is another important kind of PPE. At some ASI businesses, it is provided in the form of safety glasses. In some instances, a safety visor or specialty protection like a welding helmet or cutting torch eye protection may be needed instead. Employees should always use safety glasses when doing tasks that involve hazardous materials, substances, or flying objects. A safety visor should always be worn when using a chainsaw. Mark Phelps knows this firsthand.
Many years ago, my wife and I were cutting up firewood in our front yard from a tree we had cut down. The logs were already on the ground, and I was cutting a log. When I've used a chainsaw for many years, I was a park ranger for many years, and we always cut down trees and everything. So I've had safety training at a lot of our trainings. And while I was cutting the one log, I just saw the tip of the blade hit the log in front of it, and it kicked back at me. And I always thought you could divert those and not get hit, but that thing hit so fast, it hit me in the face. I dropped the chainsaw, grabbed my mouth, had gloves on, and went over, got my wife's attention, said, "You get hurt?" I didn't know if I was bleeding or not. I pulled my hand back and I had blood all over my glove. I always had my safety equipment. I always wear all of the equipment. I had the helmet with the shield on that saved, at the very least, my right eye, if not my life. He thinks it might have done even worse, but that. And I was wondering if I even had my shield down. So when I got back home after he stitched me, I had 11 stitches down right just outside my lip line. He said if it was inside there, it wouldn't be much I could do, but it just outside the lip line. I got my helmet and looked, and I saw that it did hit. I had the shield down, and this is just one of the metal shields. They've got different types, but it hit that shield, and I think what that did is it stopped the chain long enough while because it was running when it hit, because it ripped up and flipped that up, but it stopped it long enough for my wrist to activate the chain brake and stop the chain before it actually hit me, because my face was not ripped up, it just where the teeth hit. So the moral of the story is always wear your safety equipment. You still may get hurt, but it could save your life.
Hand protection can also help ensure that a small injury does not become a major one. 1 million workers are treated in emergency rooms for hand injuries annually, and 70% of those workers were not wearing gloves.
Different types of gloves can be helpful in each situation. For example, a cut-resistant glove can prevent cuts for those who handle knives or slicers. Warm winter gloves are a necessity when working outside during colder months, especially in temperatures below freezing. Remember, when handling chemicals, the only gloves you should wear are latex or nitrile. These types of gloves should be worn so spills will not expose your skin to the chemicals. If you are using or working near machinery with moving parts, be aware that any glove can become entangled in machinery. This puts you at risk for amputation of the fingers, hand, or arm.
For some tasks at ASI, head protection is required. Safety helmets or hard hats should be worn when an employee may be working with high voltage or in an area where there may be falling debris. A chainsaw helmet is necessary whenever a chainsaw is being used. Hard hats should be retired if they have gone past their expiration date or have sustained a significant impact. Many jobs require employees to use a safety helmet intermittently, depending on the task, so be sure to check with your manager if you are unsure if one is needed.
Respiratory protection is very important when working in environments with airborne contaminants, such as wood and metal dust, finishing spray, strong fumes, or with other vapors. There are reusable and disposable types of respiratory protection. Some ASI businesses provide such equipment. Speak with your manager or safety committee member if you notice that the supplies are running low.
The last type of PPE we'll talk about today is foot protection. Some businesses require or encourage employees to wear either composite or steel toe boots. In many of these cases, employees are reimbursed for a set amount after they purchase the necessary footwear. This amount may be available annually or every 2 years. If you would like to know more about reimbursement for footwear, speak with your manager or the Human Resources Department. Hearing, eye, head, hand, respiratory, and foot protection are the most common types of PPE used at ASI businesses, but there may be other industry-specific types of PPE you use during your workday. No matter what, be sure to speak to your manager if you need a specific size or type of PPE your business doesn't have on hand. We want all employees to be as comfortable and safe as possible, no matter what task they may be doing.